Hello and welcome to the Hospitality Twins podcast. I'm Jerry Reyes.
And I'm Ramon Reyes. Tourism offers us an opportunity to visit new places and experience new and exciting attractions.
But it's the people within the hospitality industry that make these experiences unique and memorable.
We look forward to shedding light on the talented people who make the hospitality industry special.
And also to providing coaching and career tips to those seeking to join our industry. We'd like to welcome everyone to another episode of the Hospitality Twins. Jerry Reyes and I are fortunate to be interviewing today and having a great conversation with Dwayne Butler, which I've had the great pleasure of working with in the past. And we'll talk about how talented he is, and not only in the kitchen as a leader, but in many other ways as well. Dwayne Butler is currently the sous chef at Harrah's in New Orleans and serves that role by servicing multiple outlets within the casinos there. So I'd like to just roll right into it. And Dwayne, thank you first off for spending time with Jerry and I, having a conversation about your career and your thoughts about the industry and culinary as well. So first, I'd like you just to tell some of our listeners about how you got your start in hospitality.
Good evening, Jerry, Ramon. It's a pleasure to be here. I first had my start as an apprentice at Delgado Community College, where I met various aspects of great people. Did a 3-year apprenticeship program there. I went on from there while I was doing my apprenticeship program to a place called Arnold's Restaurant, 813 Bienville Street in New Orleans. Very world-renowned famous restaurant in quarters. I worked under a chef by the name of Kevin Davis, who trained me in various aspects of the kitchen, started from prep cooking, doing different aspects of production in the kitchen, learning basic culinary knowledge as I went to school. He applied me and used me in various aspects on and off the clock. That's how willing I was and eager to learn from him. I started chefing oysters, making croutons, working the salad station, and I looked down the whole line itself. He walked me through the whole kitchen. He said, "This is where you're going to start, Dwayne. I aspire you to be a chef. This is where chef starts from the bottom. You have to learn basic knife skills, learn how to interact and how to be organized." So that was some basic components of where I started from and did my apprenticeship program through that program right there.
Yeah, definitely. Backing up just a little bit, what brought you to culinary? I guess, because obviously most people that work in culinary, we see as artists. They like to put something together that's special, that brings joy to people. What gave you that passion to gravitate towards culinary?
Well, the passion I had was from a long history and family background. My stepdad was a jazz musician in the city of New Orleans, and I traveled vigorously with him throughout different hotels and different restaurants as he played his brunch. Was a standard trio we call, like a trumpet, a banjo, guitar, and he did his thing. So I went in various kitchens of New Orleans as a little young kid, and I watched these fascinating chefs do incredible things with food. I mean, hand, eye, and the look of the food and the presentation of the food, and kind of inspired me on wanting to be. I asked my old man, I said, "Well, how do I become a cook?" He said, "No, you don't want to be a cook, you want to be a chef." So the necessary tools I had to have in getting educated and becoming the apprenticeship, that was the fascination to me as a young kid, though, watching the famous great chefs in New Orleans, which he worked on the props of that, doing the show and doing the taping of that. So I would go and watch these chefs create these beautiful, beautiful, masterful recipes and different cuisine they would do. And I kind of had an eye for it. And I used to like to cook omelets and different things coming up as kids. I have a twin brother as well. And I was the cook of the family, kind of, sort of, making omelets and pancakes and a lot of trial and error. So it always was a fascination of mine. I always watched cooking shows and the Westerns with my dad and my brother, and basketball, and played sports and did everything I was supposed to do like that as a kid. But the cooking always really inspired me. Great chefs in New Orleans, Julia Childs, the gourmet chef, name it, I watched it. So that was a hobby of mine.
Wow.
That's fantastic. You know, it's really cool to hear about your journey and how you started. And we're going to reference some points throughout our conversation that probably will hit on some of the very points that you brought up.
Well, Dwayne, now that I know you're a twin, I know I really like you, man. You know, you referenced this a little bit in, you know, the answer you gave to the previous question, but as a chef, as a culinarian, where do you feel that you have been influenced the most as it relates to food that you like to cook?
Well, my background, my mother is a staunch down Creole, and my grandmother and all of my people that really did the cooking of the family, like the laborers of the family. While the men worked, I guess the women cooked. And Sunday dinner was a big part of our celebration, cooking coming in between conversations and just learning about each other and the day-to-day process and what happened during the week. So I was really inspired. I would say I was Creole cuisine, soul cuisine. I learned those different things from basically my people per se. Going to Circle Food Store, getting the okra, getting the fresh shrimp. That was a lot of my background just from home though. Not my professional background. My professional background kind of intertwined and it kind of had a mixture of the home school plus the basic school and on the job training. That's where I got my start and my impact. I wanted to have on the industry was this basic love in what I did and have a passion for what I did and learn the art of what I was doing and to enhance my art and to be able to teach and train and develop. That was always maybe a thought in my mind. One day I would move up the ladder, move up the train, move up, work for it, be proficient at it, and grow in the business. That was one of my aspects on what I wanted to do and what I wanted to capture as a chef though.
Something you mentioned sticks with me there too. You know, we all talk about in hospitality in general, no matter where, but it sounds like it's the same in the culinary world, that hospitality is something that we learn about or we have the opportunity to learn about in the books, through schooling, through education. But at the same time, we're also pretty significantly influenced by how our upbringing. We're significantly influenced by how we learn to grow and be hospitable. And in your case, it sounds like everything you learned as a child, as growing up, cooking with the family, really influenced a lot of how you operate or how you cook.
Yes.
Look, well, I got to tell you, they had some really good influence because I've had a lot of your cooking, Dwayne, and it's pretty good.
Well, I certainly appreciate it. I really do it with a heart of passion. And like I said, my love for people, basically, though, being in the hospitality, I knew I would be a natural from a young kid because even in the church setting or wherever I was always entertaining, serving the faith I had with people, just taking care of the elders in the family, or you're right, do you need juice, water, whatever. So I was kind of like, you know, I kind of serving, I would say though. So I knew that's what my passion would be, trying to become maybe a culinarian or a waiter or something dealing with this industry. The love, and especially being from New Orleans itself, the love we have for people. I don't have to know you, but hello, how you doing? That's do anyone.
Exactly.
And I just love what I do, and it's a great. It's been very rewarding for me. Put it to you like this: I've met so many people.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story, but
I tell you what, you know, it's not hard to see that and feel that, Dwayne, for anybody who's worked with you or really even been in a restaurant or any food and beverage outlet where you have a hand. You hit on so many good points in terms of, you know, loving what you do, having a passion for what you do. I agree with Jerry. Your upbringing has an influence on that, and just having a service mindset, aka servant mindset, in terms of that we're here to serve each other and help each other.
sure.
And at the end of the day, if you live, you know, your life like that, and if you find a job that allows you to do that, then you're going to be happier, and you're going to put some better products together. You're going to put better service out there. And honestly, I can say personally that I've seen you do that. You know, it takes a, you know, a certain personality, I think, and skill set to have a long lasting career in the culinary world, right? Or in that division. You know, if you had to think back to what has made you successful in this role and in this industry, what would it be?
Well, I would say the people that I've come across is my greatest strengths. You know, the people I've worked with, upper management, lower management, and in between, and everybody coming together to do their part and do their job, first of all, and to be professional as possible, and to make everybody a part of the team. If you make them feel good, your line level, you make them feel good, and you include them, and you explain exactly what it is that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
We have a deadline to meet. We have different aspects of the business life that we have to take care of. We have to take care of the house first. And first of all, we have to take care of these guests to make them come back. You want to have a wow factor in whatever you do. You want to have a wow factor. You want to make it pop. You want to make it taste good, look good, smell good. You want everything to be explosive to the palate and the eyes. Mm-hmm. So I feel like longevity for me was very rewarding because I try to handle my life and all the people that's around me as a team. So we all a team and we all can do it and we all can make it and strive for excellence. And that's what it's about. Do not lower your standards for no one or nobody. I don't care if you have to run it by yourself, do it alone. Make sure you work with pride and proficiency, and that'll see you through every time.
Yeah, look, and I think you hit on so many great points, Dwayne, and it's not surprising, again, having worked with you, to see, the sort of the troops rally around you, the people rally around you, because you've got that mindset of, I'm going to be a perfectionist, and I'm also going to educate everyone around me to be better at the same time. And that, I know that's going to lend to a question Jerry's going to ask here in a second, but it really has a lot to do with, I think, even your success, just from the outside looking in, or somebody who has worked alongside with you, is that you've had people that have worked on your teams that really learned a lot from you, but also respected you, even though you had high expectations, and sometimes were very adamant in conveying some of those higher expectations. So that's kudos to you, and certainly something that I want to mention as well.
One thing to piggyback on that before I jump into the next question is that we've all, Ramon and I, have been close to kitchens, although neither of us has worked in a kitchen directly. We've always been around it, and I've noticed that it takes, from a skill set perspective in culinarians, people that are very disciplined. I mean, because everything is about timing, everything is about execution, everything is about precision. And to your point, while ensuring the quality is maintained, everything has to be explosive to the palate, like you said. I love how you put that, because that all has to come with all of that execution happening before it and happening efficiently. And to Ramon's point, it's a testament when you can rally everybody around you to do that and do it well, and then be proud of the work that they've done. So, kudos to you for that. And so let me jump into our next question here. In our industry, it's definitely one that relies on a strong culture and development of the individuals that we work with, or the people that work in our industry. You've been fortunate enough to have been taken under your wing by many great leaders. You referenced a lot of them earlier, or some of them earlier. How do you pay it forward?
Well, I basically pay it forward how they paid it forward, through much training, much love, much education, and skill set and mindset. Come to work to want to perform, bring something to the table, and feel good about what you're doing as a team. Everything is based around a team, I feel, and it's no other way around but to have a team and to have great expectations of the team, and just grow and learn every day, though. But I want to see you bring something to the table, though. I want to have a mystery box. Maybe we could have a culinary competition. Maybe we could find out some things. What do you want to put on the plate today? What do you want to do for a special? I want to know all these things, though. I want to know, do you want to be a chef? Do you want to have my job one day? I need to know all these things, and all these things work for me, though. And I believe it'll work. I've had a few chefs that became executives that worked under me. They're really doing really well. They thought I was the worst man in the world at first. The sous chef's really role is to be under the executive chef. I've been in the executive role once or twice, and I'm only as strong as the team that's under me. So everybody's up when everybody's rolling. We have a plan to execute. We have a time limit. Let's get it done. So for the most part, though, I feel like it adds a great culinary knowledge and skill set that you need to be a perfectionist. You have to have a goal set in mind for one, though. A goal, you have to follow the trends that's out there. And you just want to be a great leader, but you have to find out what's exactly wrong with your people. At the same time, you have to talk. You have to have one-on-ones with them. You have to find out about some different things that are happening besides the business. Sometimes you got to put the business aside and say, well, you know what? We all human. You're hurting, like you're down right now, or you're all right. Can you work today? And I get kind of personable with people like that, and I find it works though, because I do care about the human being for one. Humanly as possible as I can though, and still having the same integrity to come out with the food and the cuisine. I get that, but at the same time, we want to be professional as possible and diligent. You know, we have to take care of business, and the business will take care of us. That's the old school way I came up in the business. You take care of the business, and the business definitely will take care of you. And I'm a testament to that. And I tell all of my people that, I say, look, this is a great, especially in our city. We have so many jobs available, but you want to pick the right job in the right house. You want to learn them. You want to bring something to the table. How can you grow and make it kind of your own?
I love how you challenge them to think and ask them those questions like, what special should we do today? What would you put on this plate? Challenging their creativity. I think that is something that's so special because to my earlier point, there's a lot of things that we'll learn when we go to school or when you go to culinary school, but there's nothing that can replace the value of that leadership that will hone in on what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are, and
Right.
hopefully help them to develop those and
Sure.
improve. And you said something special, that the same way people treated you coming up, you're treating them and asking them what they want to do. Do they want to be a chef, or do they want to be a cook? What their goals are, and then also at the core of it, understanding them as human beings from the very beginning. Because at the end of the day, we're all human, and we will only be successful if we are balanced. And I think that the fact that you focus on that is something pretty special.
And I've seen that firsthand, you know, Dwayne, and working in the same building with you. And I think that what that does is it certainly educates them in many ways, helps them understand. And you know where I'm going with this is what their true capabilities are. Because sometimes when you have some of the folks that you're grooming, at times, some of them understand how much more they have to learn, and others think they know more than what they truly know. And so when you challenge them and you question them and you give them an opportunity to really put their creativity to the test, and their leadership to the test as well, it really helps you continue that development process. And I've seen it happen in the same kitchen with you. So I applaud you for that. You know, one of the things that I like to point out is I think all three of us in one shape or form has worked with an organization where when we think about paying it forward, you've worked with Cafe Reconcile. My brother has well. And then the Roll O, when we were both there, we partnered with them as well. And I know you like to mentor folks. You know, tell us a little bit about what you've done by way of Cafe Reconcile.
Well, actually, Cafe Reconcile, well, one or two cooks that, well, actually, Michael, he's still at the hotel. He's working the rib room. He's working.
That's a true success story, if I may say.
That's a true success story. That's one that I could really have a recollection on. I asked Michael. I said, Mike. He asked me. He said, Chef, I want a job. I said, can you do this? That hair is kind of wild. Can you do something with that? And come and see me. So he actually did though. I said, what? I said, He said, man, I really need to work. I want a job. I want to learn. And I thought that was the most amazing thing in the world. And that young man was just outstanding from day one. He was very eager to learn. He was willing to learn. And he wanted to do anything that we needed done in the kitchen, whether it was wash dishes, whether it was whatever. Chef, I have it. You need a cooler cleaned. Do you need it labeled and dated? I'm finding out about first in, first out. I've been studying this. I've been reading this. And I thought that was the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, you know, and I tell you, there's so many and I'm going to say kid because he was a lot younger when he first started at the
Sure.
Rolo. There's so many kids that are part of not only a program like Cafe Reconcile, but so many other programs that are out there that if they were to get a mentor like you and someone that would take them under their wing when at a stage where they may not know exactly what they want to do. And frankly, at a stage where they may be youth that's at risk because his life could have turned out differently.
Sure.
He found a love and passion for this industry, and you took him under his wing, under your wing, and developed him. And he is still there today,
Oh, yeah.
and was fortunate, as you know, to have the prestigious role to eventually be able to work that rotisserie in the rib room, which is not, it's not just a body that's back there. That's something you work your way up to. And so, again, kudos to you for having a hand in that. And I think that that's important to point out that we could all pay it forward. Culinarians like you, leaders at every single rate and capacity, has an opportunity to find organizations like this and partner with them, take some of these kids and really make them stewards of our industry. And ensure that we're building our industry for the future in terms of really retaining the essence of what hospitality means and represents into the future.
And if I may just, offer a little plug for Cafe Reconcile, because I think it's such a great topic. It's a program that there are many others like it as well that we can also benefit from. But I think what's great about it, and you're partnering with it as well, Dwayne, is that this is a program that offers a way out for some folks. It's life-changing for a lot of folks. It's something that not only teaches them culinary skills, but it teaches them life skills, and to have a program like that, to be a part of it, to me, it's always been something that I've found to be very special. And I'll be brief, but I'll share a story. There's a gentleman that I worked with before who we met with this young man at Cafe Reconcile. He was serving us lunch, and he came up to us and said, "What do I need to do to get a job at your hotel?" And at the time, the hotel that we were working for didn't allow certain hairstyles. So he would have had to adjust his hairstyle in order to join our team. And the director of HR shared that with him and told him, "But look, that's in order to even do an internship with us, you literally have to shave your head." And we just laughed it off, thinking that he would just kind of laugh it off as well. But then Monday morning, he showed up at our hotel with his head shaved. And that kid at the time, he's a man now, at the time, he came in and said, "I want a job with this hotel." He blew us away at the internship. We hired him. He worked through cook 1, 2, 3, ended up being our chef de cuisine, ended up moving on to be a sous chef at subsequently at multiple hotels, and is still successful in the culinary industry today. So I believe that programs like Cafe Reconcile can be life-changing for a lot of folks. And a lot of folks, all they need is that way out. All they need is that extra assistance to help them break into an industry that is oftentimes, especially in the culinary world, difficult to get into. So I applaud you for what you've done with Cafe Reconcile and the program itself.
Yeah, and I think, just to hit the last point on that, when you have someone that's looking for what is my passion, what am I going to love to do and wake up every day and never regret going to work to do, I think that programs like this give us an opportunity to expose some of these kids to different aspects of our industry, and then affords us the opportunity to mold someone into what we feel we want them to be to truly be successful. So again, kudos to you and certainly to those that have been through the program. But I'm going to switch gears here. You kind of hit on this point, Dwayne, in the very beginning. So I'm going to hit you with a little surprise here. Question off the wall. You mentioned your upbringing, the culinary influences, that family environment, the musical influences. So you're a man of many talents. You're a funny guy. You can cook. You're a great leader. But I want to hit on one memory that I have of you. I recall doing something that I do every day. I walk the property every day. I want to inspect what I expect. But I also want to say hello and take in some great conversations with associates as I make my way around the hotel. And one day, especially at the Rolo, where I like to go outside and take in the sights and the sounds, I walk out to Roll Street next to the hotel, and I always like to catch the street musicians. And there's one day where Dwayne Butler in his chef coat, playing with the street musicians on the drums. So I want you to tell me a little bit about what that was all about.
Actually, I was out on a little break because I feel as the chef and as a great leader that people said, not me, they said, well, it was a little slow that day. So I said, let me go out and catch a little air outside.
Dude.
And I always make the standing, I'm never leaving the kitchen, and I'm in one spot, I'm on my station, I'm watching everything, what I'm supposed to be doing. And I feel like it's time for me to get a little air sometimes. I make a fun with it. So I was out there, and the drummer, he had to take a little break. He went to the restroom, I believe. And the band, it was swinging, it was sounding so nice. And I said, I sure could add my touch on them drums. That was funny, right? And a young lady says, you know what? Go for it, chef. I said, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll try. But actually, I kind of knew a little something about it. And I got on the drums, and then I was grooving. I was feeling the crowd. Everybody, oh, chef, whatever. And someone tapped me on my shoulder and said, what are you doing? I said, I'm so sorry. You're supposed to be working, sir. Chef, I'll pay you. I said, I'm so sorry. I just couldn't help myself. They needed an extra man for this trio they have in here. And I thought I could just fill in for at least 5 minutes. And it was just a great experience I had with that. And to my surprise, I didn't know my big boss was going to come out there. Well, we won't call his name, but you know who I'm referring to. And he said, what are you doing? And I would never forget that long as I live. And like I say, being from this city and having the soul and the heart that I have, the passion and the food that goes hand in hand, the food, the culinary, the music, and the whole, I call it a big pot of gumbo, a big mixture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many chefs I've worked with, German chefs, Italian chefs, American cuisine. I work with a bunch of Cajun chefs. I've been around a little while, and having the influences I had, even with the chef Spazzale and Chef Tommy before him, who had a Sicilian background, and with my Afro-American New Orleans background, I call it. So we put all those different mixes in the pot, and it was certainly a real pleasure working at that hotel for that number of years. Mm-hmm. And the people I came across and doing the wine dinners and the chain, the cuisine dinners and the different wineries that we did, it was all a big pleasure. As well as I do a little bit now with the company I work for. We do a lot of different things, and we do such mass production. The mass production and the planning part of it, it's a great thing just to plan it out. And everybody's running crazy and going crazy at the time, but the time of the execution, and when you execute it and everybody's feeling lovely and the guests are satisfied, I think you really captured your job by having a smile. I love to see people smile after they eat. Any culinary cuisine I may prepare or that I might do, the general manager is happy, the whole house is happy. Everybody's just smiling. It's just a great experience I've had with this business. Almost 30 years now, and I'm a young man, but I've been doing this since
That's fantastic.
But I've been very rewarded with it. I've worked in various houses and various places, but I bring something to the table. I want to bring my knowledge to the table and my love for people, for one. And I could build a team, and I could make a team, and I could be a part of a team, and everybody come together, and we all make one happy dance, one happy song, and we please everybody's palate in that way. You know?
Yeah, look, just to go back to that memory, I tell you what it tells me is, you embody so much of what makes New Orleans such a special place, and our industry for that matter across the world. Mm-hmm. Just again, you talked about culture, music, people, there's so much there. And it's hard to describe sometimes, but when you're in that city and when you're, you're fortunate to be acquainted with and working with somebody that's been in this industry for as long as you've been, you could see it every day, and you could see it in everything you do. The way that you lead is certainly with a gentle but firm at the same time touch, and also taking in, again, the culture and ensuring that everybody is treated like a person. There's really so much there to appreciate. But I couldn't go without sharing that memory, because it was just, it was so funny to me, but it also at the same time, it's fun. I mean, it's what we do in our industry. We work hard, we take care of the guests, all those things you said. We certainly are perfectionists in many ways, but when we are working together, we like to have a good time as well. And I couldn't think of a city where that's done more than the city of New Orleans.
You know,
And you know, one other thing, guys, who that? I want you to remember. And you know who I'm talking to.
Yeah. Look, that will always be my chant. Don't worry.
Oh yeah.
Look,
Oh yeah.
Look, let me say this though. I think that is truly something that creates positive memories. I can only envision it because I wasn't there, but I'm envisioning you in your chef coat playing the drums. And not only, the fact that Ramon saw you or your general manager saw you, but I think about the tourists that come through our city and how that is a memory for them. That's like, wow, did you guys see that chef playing the drums? He just walked out and started playing the drums. That's something unique that would only happen in our industry. And, quite frankly, one of the things that is unique about New Orleans as well. So I think that that's something special. And, you may not realize it, but you're definitely working to create positive memories even by doing that. So let me move into our next question. So, as we've been living through, an interesting time, especially as of late, what's been the impact on you during and due to the pandemic?
Well, the basic impact for me is really checking on my cooks, making sure that they're all right. Even though sometimes I really hurt, the impact this thing has had on our culture is kind of overwhelming at first. The lives that was lost that would never be recovered, and those great people and great stories, it was a bunch to take in, to be real frank with you. And the loss of revenue, the loss of business, the loss of jobs, that was just a great impact, and it's still impactful. And I'm resilient enough to know that we come back from Hurricane Katrina, but this is a kind of different story here. We're dealing with human lives here and people at the same time. That we had a great loss for human life that I love so much.
Right.
So my impact, I just really get to call and check on people, see how they're doing, make sure I'm on the up and up with me mentally, physically, see if they're cooking in a good breakfast or brunch. I check on that, see what you've been cooking, what you've been doing. You've been reading the cookbooks, or how much have you been preparing? Or you're keeping your craft intact. I'm seeing all about those kind of things like that. As we make progress, I'm believing in my heart that this industry is going to be much better. It's going to be much stronger. We're going to have a flexibility plan in place in case something ever happens again like this. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
On the number side of it, we need to have some kind of flexible plan or some kind of insurance to ensure that whatever culinary, whether it's waiters or whether it's the bellman, we need to find out something that we need to have in place, some kind of law put in place for the hospitality industry as a whole, especially the cities that are really impacted by this thing. I know New Orleans being one of them. This is a great bunch of revenue for our city and our state as well. So we heard it, but I think I really feel that in my heart it's going to get better in the next few months as we come close to a vaccine or a cure for this thing. I think we're going to be much better. We're going to be much stronger, and we're going to have an appreciative level for any job that we do, whether it's front of the house, back of the house. Everybody should have a great attitude about coming to work and doing the right things for the job itself.
Yeah. Well, I think you hit on some great things there that I want to just kind of touch on a little bit too. And I love the fact that at the end of the day, our first priority should be to the people, the health of the people. And you not only mentioned the physical health of the people, but you are working, although you guys are not together right now, you are talking about the mental health of those individuals. You're talking about whether or not they're maintaining their craft or reading cookbooks. I love that. And that is something that, again, is a testament to your leadership. I am 100% aligned with you. I believe that we are resilient. We will definitely weather through this, and we'll be stronger because of it. We would all love to see that we put in some more protections that will hopefully avoid us from being where we are today.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, I think that we will grow stronger. We will bounce back. People do want to travel, and a city like New Orleans itself, or any major tourism destination,
Sure.
I
Right.
think that we will bounce back. We will see travel come back, and we will flourish again. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort, but at the same time, it is something that we just need to approach the right way, with health being primary and first in
Amen.
mind.
I want to, this is a nice segue to the next question here with regards to the future of our industry and travel. And you kind of hit on this a little bit, but what do you hope for when you think about the future of our industry and travel as a whole? What is your hope?
Well, my hope for the future traveler, I would want the expectation to be the same as what we left it off as, but a little better. With putting all the standards in place, having a safer environment, but the fun and the love, I still want that to remain the same. I believe once it happens and it starts to evolve, we would have to take very slow steps, of course. But we have to see where we're at and have a level of measurement, measure it out, and we move forward. And that's really all I'm looking for.
Dwayne, I think that what's important to point out there, and you've already hit on it. I guess my point is one of pushing you or encouraging you to do the same thing. In order for that to happen, right, for that hope to be achieved, we need mentors like you to be out there mentoring people and ensuring that the essence of what travel represents and what hospitality represents doesn't go away. Because even though some of these guys are not on the front end, they have to still be hospitality professionals, right? Because at the end of the day, if you could have started on the line in the kitchen, but if you aspire to be a chef, you're going to be on the front of the line. You're going to be out in the dining room, touching tables and talking to guests. And you still need to embody everything that hospitality represents, even though you're behind the scenes. And I think it shows too. It shows in the culture of the kitchen and the energy of the kitchen. So, I just want to encourage you to continue to do what you're doing. And what you've always done best, putting some great food out there on the table, doing it with a fantastic sense of humor, having fun along the way. And, just ensuring that the people that work around you are developed to a point where eventually, if they say, hey, I want your job, then they grow to do that. And, the fact that you say that there's some people that you mentored and helped and now are exec chefs, says a lot about you, because you've had a hand in that. I can tell you that I remember everyone that I work with in my days as a doorman and all the way up until now, and every single person, even today, still still influences me as a leader, as a person, as an individual, as a hospitality professional. And I'm sure the same thing holds true for you. First off, thank you for being with us today and giving us an opportunity to allow you to tell your story and share your insight. If people wanted to find you on social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, how can they find you if they wanted to find you? What's your name out there and your handle for any social media?
Well, I'm under Cedars Entertainment as a sous chef, Dwayne Butler. Right now, currently Facebook, Dwayne Butler. You see my pretty face. I know you don't know it, but that's me. I have different people that I know in the industry by working it so long.
Yeah.
I'm just a phone call away, put it to you like that.
Definitely. Well, look, Dwayne, thank you so much for spending time with us and tell your story.
I certainly appreciate it. And, guys like you are Jews in the industry and business. And for leaders and leaderships, it's always great to meet kind of hands-on general managers. A lot of our industry, a lot of times those guys are so well polished and well groomed, but having a hand, I guess, being from New Orleans or coming from these parts and then going throughout the world, it's a little different though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a lot different, a lot more hands-on with people, and the knowledge of the people skills itself. Where you're not afraid to get dirty, you're not afraid to just go out there and do everything that the job entitles. You know, if you have to take your suit coats off, I know you have no problem with doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I certainly commend that, and I've seen that, and I've worked with you with that, and it's just a pleasure. And having a twin system as a buddy system, general manager wise, that's kind of that's a great story. That's a really great story. And I commend you two guys, and I really appreciate the opportunity. And anything I could do, whether it's a musician next or whether it's dishwasher, steward, whatever you need, a recommendation, whatever it is that we can help our industry to come back and to be alive and be vibrant and to have the world recognize hospitality as a leadership destination and as a great opportunity to leave and feel a part of something that you may not, ordinarily do. That we need people like we're trying to do. I mean, we just need everything in a pot. We need everything mixed together to make the industry come back. I would love to see the day, and hopefully in the very near future, this will be happening for us as humans to be able to go to a hotel and have your 5-star treatment that you deserve as a citizen, and this groom and be a part of a great situation that you never forget, something memorable.
Yeah.
And for the shipping industry, the cruise line, name it, and we all a part of this green earth, God's green earth. And I would hope and wish that it will be my hope and my wish that we will come back and make a strong impact again.
I couldn't agree more. We hope you've enjoyed our conversation with Chef Dwayne Butler today. It was exciting to hear about Dwayne's journey and the passion with which he approaches hospitality. We appreciate your joining us today. Stay tuned for our next podcast.